Well, good morning from Massachusetts, and thank you for joining me. I hope you can hear me well and see me well. Today's January 5th. It's a cold day here in Massachusetts. I just took a walk, but wherever you are, thank you for joining me. If you're watching the recording, I thank you for taking time out of your day. I'm going to do a quick check of my audio and video on my laptop. If you can give me a thumbs up on your end to let me know that you can see me well and hear me well, I'd appreciate it. Okay, looks good on my laptop. How are you all this morning? It is the 5th day of a new year. How is the new year starting out for you? I am trying to remain positive. I'm excited in general for a new year. Every time a new year starts, I feel like there are new possibilities and it's a fresh new year. At the same time, there's little problems that come up and challenge us and test our confidence in the new year. So I try to tell myself, it's okay, it's okay. And I deal with those small problems as best I can and still try to hold on to my positivity. But not all has been smooth. Not all has been smooth sailing, as we say. But I'm still generally happy and excited for 2024. So yes, if there is a new short out, it's a 2-part short about New Year's resolutions. And I invited people who watched that short to comment and tell me, what are your plans? Do you make resolutions? Do you make promises to yourself? Do you set any goals? And feel free to let me know. Right now, it is a public live stream, but it is a member-only chat. So if you'd like to join the chat, just click the join button and you become a member of my channel. If you don't see the join button, I'm very sorry. It's just there's limited access, but most countries have the join button. It's visible for you. So please do join. You will get access to the live chat today. After our live stream, I will create a set of follow-up tasks for my members, and I will put them on the community tab. As soon as you click join, you also get access to an archive of previously recorded live streams from the past. So there's quite a lot that you get, a lot of bang for your buck for $1 a month. Thank you to my current members, by the way. I see people joining already. That's wonderful. I see some members joining too. Super, super. Okay, I'm going to do a quick check over here of my laptop. Questions should be coming in. Okay, let's see. Katya, hello, and Emmy, New Value, Alan, I see you, and my member, Stunning Lad 1. Glad to have you here. Manuel, hi there. Mukhtar, Stunning Lad, super. And Alisa Shevchenko, I see you. Right, and members have sent in some questions in advance. The advantage of being a member is I prepare tasks based on questions. So that's a wonderful perk to being a member. But there is another question coming in about she will be reading, she will do some reading. Do some reading sounds like it's required to me. You can read for pleasure, you can read for different purposes, but if you have to do some reading, it sounds to me like you're a student perhaps, and you need to do some reading tasks, for example. Okay. Just checking my settings here. Okay. Okay, guys, so that was your brief taste of open access. I knew I had said it, but it is a member-only chat. Thank you for your patience. Ma Hippo is here too. Glad to have you guys. Good to have you here. Okay, so what are we doing? Let's start with some announcements and we will lead straight into our lesson. We have 30 to 60 minutes and the topic is going to be movie reviews, something that I know other people enjoy just as much as I do. But let me start with some basic announcements right now. I'm going to work my little magic and show my screen. Okay. First things first, guys, do know that if you go to my channel and you click on the links, actually let me show you what it looks like. Okay, let me go over here. Okay, do you see my channel? So if you come here, this is the one link I have immediately accessible. That's my new freebie. But over here, you scroll down, down, down. These are all my links, guys, to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X. But at the top are my gifts to you, for everyone. There is a free pronunciation toolkit that I've been sharing for about a month. You click on that link and you will get, let's see if I can open it in a new tab. Look at that. Free pronunciation toolkit. That's right. It's completely free. You just have to say, send me the toolkit, and you'll get my MP3 recording and a PDF to follow along. But something else I just created for 2024, guys, is my movie power pack. So if you click on that link, this is what you get. So you put your name, your address in. Yes, you want to say yes that you want to build your fluency. And what you're getting is a set of movie reviews. There are 10 full reviews. It's a 60-page PDF, not just the transcripts, but vocabulary notes too, and then individual MP3 recordings for each of those movie reviews. So you have that choice to listen, read, or listen and read along. You can look at the list of movies. Perhaps some are familiar to you, some may not be, but it's a really interesting, engaging way to practice your reading and listening, and that creates this meaningful context for vocabulary. So there's a number of skills that you can work on through the movie power pack. I will ask you, please, as a way to say thank you to me, if you choose to get this, you will immediately get access to the whole movie power pack, but please check your email and then click confirm so that we can stay in touch with each other, okay? And then you can be informed of new freebies, new offers, etc., etc. So again, if you come to my main page and you click on these links, you'll see all of my social media sites as well as my 2 free gifts to everyone, the movie power pack and the free pronunciation toolkit. So once you give your name and your address, you get the download. And for this movie power pack, I'm asking you, please follow up, check your email, check your spam folder too, and click to confirm so that we can stay in touch with each other, okay? All right, so let me come back over here and remind you again that there are 2 gifts that I'm giving to everybody. You just have to do some clicking to get them, okay? Goodness, Manuel and Stunning Lad 1 you're having. Well, I'm going to see who else will join. I see some members here. You know what, I'll do this. I'm going to give priority to my members first, and then perhaps towards the middle of the live stream, it can open up to non-members again. But one of the main perks is that all the live streams will be accessible to you as a member. Okay. All right. I also want to remind you that there is an opportunity to join me on Patreon as a lifelong learner. My lifelong learners get 2 classes a month. We meet for 75 minutes. It's roughly an hour of instruction, 15 minutes for Q&A or additional conversation. You get pre and post lesson tasks. As soon as you sign up, you get access to lots and lots of exclusive materials and previous posts, community interaction, and you do get some private messaging with me. We focus on all skills. I do encourage you to sign up if you're B2 or higher. So please consider that as an opportunity in 2024. The conversation games, that is our winning topic. My members vote every month for a topic, and they chose conversation games for January. So if you'd like to enjoy group learning and independent tasks, then please check out the details on Patreon. Okay? All right, let's go on. So, the other thing I'll be doing very soon is I'm going to share some shorts on YouTube and also reels on Instagram with movie reviews, because I'd really like to show you the power of movies and how they provide such a wonderful context for learning, not just to watch, but then what do you do after a movie? Writing your own review is a wonderful way to really follow up and put into practice your comprehension and any vocabulary that you've picked up from the experience. I love movies for reading, listening, vocabulary skills. It's a fun, meaningful context, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you further today. One of the movies I recently saw was The Greatest Showman from 2017. Has anyone seen it? I'd love to know. Okay. Well, this is a movie that obviously has been around for a few years. I just took a while to see it. The first thing I'm going to do is read my review to you. You can follow along because the text is here. Let me make it larger for you on smaller screens. We'll then go over vocabulary, and then we're going to pull out language to help us look at interesting structures that you could use in your speaking and in your writing. Okay? So let me go paragraph by paragraph, and we'll address any new words or expressions. If you have questions, I'll be checking the chat as well. Okay? The Greatest Showman. Sometimes we hear about a great film, but despite being all the rage, it doesn't end up at the top of our watch list. When we finally see the movie, we may wonder, why did I wait so long? How indeed did we deny ourselves the joy? Expressions? I imagine this might be new for some people. All the rage. All the rage. If something is all the rage, it's really popular. Everyone's talking about it. Maybe not everyone, but again, it suggests popularity. So despite being so very popular, it doesn't end up at the top of our watch list, right? You can have a playlist on YouTube. A watch list might be the list of movies or videos that you plan to see and you want to see as time allows. Okay? Well, this is what I felt when I recently watched The Greatest Showman, a musical inspired by the life of P.T. Barnum, the famous American entertainer and creator of the Barnum and Bailey Circus. The writers took some liberty in telling the story of the showman and his stars. So not everything may be historically accurate, but they were highly successful in creating a powerful message about dreams, determination, and acceptance. Any new words or expressions? Nadia just became a member. Welcome, Nadia. Okay. All right, so inspire, this is passive, inspired by, right? In this case, the idea for the story came from real life events, based on the life of P.T. Barnum, this American entertainer. So it's different from based on. When you say something is based on, then it sounds like it's more closely, it more closely follows the facts. Inspired by, it's just the idea and the concept, because as I understand, the writers took some liberty. Actually, they took a lot of liberty, I think, in creating this story. They added some characters, they changed some plot lines that did not happen in reality. So liberty is about freedom. When you take freedoms and you take liberty, it means you feel free to change things. So it's not historically accurate. There are things that they changed to make the story more interesting and the way they wanted it to unfold on the screen for us. So again, it's not exactly, it's not based on his life. It's inspired by real events. Okay? Yeah, Stunning Lad says, films are rarely 100% accurate. Ah, I heard about Napoleon Manuel. Yes. Napoleon also, the writers, the movie creators might have taken some liberty in telling that story. They might have changed things, again, to fit it into like a 2-hour movie. So that often happens when things are inspired by real life events. Well, in the lead role, Hugh Jackman demonstrates what it means to be a triple threat in show business. He truly does it all: act, sing, and dance. Not everyone in Hollywood can claim to be as talented. As P.T. Barnum, Jackman is supported by a strong cast, including the handsome Zac Efron and the mesmerizing Zendaya. There are other cast members who deserve some credit, but again, for the sake of length, I didn't include all names. But Zac Efron and Zendaya might be familiar to some of you already. Triple threat, this is an expression they use in show business when someone is capable of singing, acting, and dancing. Some people are incredible actors, but they can't sing. Some people can sing, but not really dance. But imagine people who can sing, act, and dance. They're often very successful on stage, like on Broadway. But in a musical film, they can also display all of their talents. A triple threat. Okay? Strong cast. Mesmerizing. Mesmerize, it's like, wow, right? You have great admiration. She's fascinating, interesting. When she's on screen doing all of her, displaying all of her talents, we just watch with great interest and with admiration for what she can do. The beautiful plot lines illustrate that we're limited only by our imaginations and beliefs. What's really holding you back from love, success, and happiness? People who were normally outcasts because they didn't appear to be normal found a new identity and a family with P.T. Barnum's circus, proving that sometimes you have to search outside of the familiar in order to find your real home. Okay. Plot lines, right? In a movie, sometimes there's this basic story, but some movies are very clever because there's multiple stories taking place. So we can refer to those multiple stories as different plot lines. And then somehow the movie creators, the producers, have to cleverly put the plot lines together somehow. Plot lines. So in the story about a man who creates a circus, there are people in his circus who normally would be considered outcasts. To cast is to throw. So to throw out means people who are not included in society. If someone is an outcast, they're thrown out. They're not included, right? An outcast. And it's a form of rejection from society. So P.T. Barnum included people who were very unique and who normally would not be accepted by society, especially at that time. But what he did is that he allowed in the movie to have these outcasts come to his circus and sort of find a new identity and sort of a family within the circus, proving that sometimes you have to search outside of the familiar in order to find your real home. In the case of Barnum, he discovers that a sense of belonging starts with self-acceptance, and he learns to evaluate the true value of money, luxuries, and social status. His young apprentice, Philip, played by Zac Efron, also reevaluates his priorities, deciding to put self-determination above his family's wealth and position. And I'm going to change this to another word, just so that we don't have evaluate, value, and reevaluate all in the same paragraph. So worth and value are synonyms. He learns to evaluate, judge, right? Decide if it's really good or bad. He evaluates the true worth of money, luxuries, and social status. And his young apprentice does the same process in his own way. He reevaluates his priorities. And he puts self-determination. So if you determine, you choose. Self-determination is choosing the life for yourself. Who are you? How do you want to live your life? What kind of life do you want to live? Are you going to let your parents, for example, or society tell you what you have to do or what you can't do? And so in this case, Philip determines, he chooses for himself a life that is very different from what his family would have wanted for him, because he came from a very wealthy family. So he chose to set aside wealth in his social position in order to have the freedom to choose a life that he really wanted to lead. Okay? Yes, Manuel. Hugh Jackman also did a really wonderful job in Les Miserables, the film version. I have not seen the whole film, but he definitely can carry a lead role as an actor and as a singer. Okay. My favorite song, Never Enough, is sung by the character Jenny Lind, a real figure in operatic history. The actress did a credible job, but the singer who lent her voice to the film blew me away with her vocals. If you only watch one scene from this movie, make sure it's Jenny Lind's first stage performance. This is why we turn to art and entertainment. They touch our heart and feed our soul. So on YouTube, you'll find all the songs. Just type in The Greatest Showman, and all the songs will come up. There's a lot of fun songs and numbers to watch and enjoy. Also, they do it so artistically, and it's visually appealing. But Never Enough is sung by this character, Jenny Lind, who is a real figure in history. Operatic history, this is an adjective. If you look inside, you see the word opera. So in the history of opera. So we could say in the history of opera or in operatic history. So she was an opera singer of her time. She was very famous. In the movie, she doesn't sing opera. She sings pop song, like a ballad. But it displays her vocal talent in a very beautiful way. Right. And actually, the interesting thing about this role is that there was the actress that we see on screen, but when the actress actually sings, they dubbed her voice. They used another performer because the singer was not an actor, but had an incredible singing voice. So they put the two talents together. So on screen, we see this actress, and then we hear this beautiful voice. And the actress did a credible job. You know, incredible, like unbelievable. Credible means very believable. So if I didn't tell you and you didn't know, you would truly believe that the actress herself did the singing, but in fact she didn't. Okay? Okay, guys. Anything else? Any other words? Okay. What you can do with movie reviews then is listen, read, pay attention to new words and context, note them down. If you need to confirm the meanings, you look in dictionaries, and then you write your own sentence. So for example, if liberty is new for you, where's the word liberty? The writers took some liberty. You know the word freedom. You've sort of heard of liberty, but you're not sure how to use it. I'm giving you the phrase, take some liberty, or take a lot of liberty in doing something. So perhaps you can think of another story, like Manuel suggested Napoleon, I think. The producers of Napoleon took some liberty in telling historical events, right? They retold it in their own way. So they changed things. They felt the freedom to change things. So if you see a new word, look how it's used, and then you try to use it in your own sentence in a new context. If you have access, which you do, you just have to click, 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 and get access to my movie Power Pack, then you can download the PDF, which is the text. There are vocabulary notes there to help you along, and then you have the audio. And there's also a how-to guide to guide you on what you can do, how you can get the most out of each movie review. So there are stages of just listening, there are stages of reading, there are stages of summarizing. There's so much that you can do with a collection of movie reviews, especially if you were given those movie reviews in both text and audio. Let me actually see if I can put the link here again. Boom, boom, boom. Wait. There it is. Okay, so that's the movie review package. Okay, all right, we're headed towards the halfway point. So what I'm going to do is give another little gift and turn on the member, or turn off the member only, and let other people participate, but still no members. You will have access to the follow-up tasks. That's my gift to you. And my way of thanking you for becoming a member of my channel. If you also would like to have access to those follow-up tasks, then just click on join and become a member, okay? All right, let me open it up now. If you're a subscriber, you should have access now, okay? Let's see. Okay, guys, we're opening up. Let me take a look here. Okay, that's the power pack that I just gave to you guys. Okay, all right. All right, moving along. So what else can we get from the review? The language. Let's look at the word despite. Remember I explained that rage is popularity? Okay, look how this is used. Despite being all the rage, the movie doesn't end up at the top of our watch list. Another way to write this sentence is to use but. This is more familiar to many of you. The movie is all the rage, but it doesn't end up at the top of our watch list. Okay? I know most of you are very comfortable writing sentences like this one. I want to make sure that you could also create a sentence with despite. Despite what? Despite being what? Despite then is followed by an object. That object can be a noun, a pronoun, or a gerund. Okay? So if you're going to take the verb be, you have to use the ing. That's the gerund. Despite being all the rage. So let's change these two around. Look at this sentence. I'll go a little bigger. Barnum gained success and wealth, but he is not completely happy. So we're going to rewrite this sentence, and we're going to use despite. Okay? We look for the verb, which is gains, and we have to make it ing, right? So we're going to change that to despite gaining. I'm going to take this. But now, since I took out Barnum here, it would make sense to name him again. So you do have to think about other changes that would help your reader. Despite gaining success and wealth, we don't need this anymore, Barnum is not completely happy. So we went from but to despite. Both express a contrast. Okay? Both express a contrast. This would be more appropriate for writing, right? If you want to elevate your writing and you have too many buts in and a text that you're writing, you might consider alternatives. Despite is one of them. Think about how you could use this. Let's look at the next one. The circus is burned down by protesters. And we're missing but. It didn't stop. It simply opened in another location. So again, what are we going to do? We're talking about the circus. And now, look at this, we have a passive verb. A passive verb. Okay. And non-members, you're welcome to join in now. We're going to take this verb, which is the be, and we know that the gerund is being. Despite being, we're going to keep the past participle. Take out but now because we have despite. Okay, instead of but, we use despite. It, what is it? We need to say what it is. The circus. Despite being burned down by protesters, the circus didn't stop. It simply opened in another location. We could even say reopened, if that makes more sense. It opened once, it was burned down, and then it reopened in another location. It is possible to say something like, despite the circus being burned down, Barnum did not stop his show. He opened up the circus in another location. But for here, we're going to keep the subject the same. The circus didn't stop and the circus was burned down. So the subject has to be the same. Barnum is the subject here and Barnum is the subject here. He's the one who gained success and he's the one who was not completely happy. The circus is what was burned down and it's the circus that didn't stop. So the subjects have to match in both parts of the sentence. Okay? Any questions? But it carried on, yes. Well, I usually like to give my members that big thank you of giving you first access to the live chat, but non-members, you're welcome to join in at this point, okay? All right, guys, so despite is a way we can express a contrast. Remember, it's despite what? Despite an object, despite a gerund, okay? Again, the best way to practice something is to see the models and then you apply it, you use it, you create your own examples, okay? All right, what else can we learn from the review? This collocation, be successful in something, in doing something. My sentence went like this. The writers of The Greatest Showman were highly successful in creating a powerful message about dreams, determination, and acceptance. Okay? So we're going to take this sentence, and I'm using because, right, but we can change this around. Barnum was successful because he created original and sometimes shocking entertainment. So it's sort of like a why or a how. How was he successful? He was successful because he created original and sometimes shocking entertainment. But I would like to use this one. Be highly successful in creating, something like that. So again, we're going to take the beginning. And we need this. In what? Oh, I did switch. You know what? You could also refresh your screen and see if it's possible, because I do see on my end the members only mode is off. So if you refresh your screen, you might be able to get into the chat. Okay? Barnum was, oopsie, successful. We're missing the ending there. Here's our verb, create. So we're going to say, in creating. Okay. Original and sometimes shocking entertainment. Okay. There are often, pretty much always, more than one way to express an idea. What you want to do as you build your fluency, you want to challenge yourself to experiment and find different ways to express the same idea. You want to activate more of your passive vocabulary. And as you learn new grammar structures, you want to also make those structures active so that you could create more variety in your writing, in your speaking. That's ideally what we want to do as communicators, is to have the freedom to express ourselves in different ways and not to keep using the same words, the same structures. So again, movie reviews can help you do that. You're reading, you're listening listening, you're exposing yourself to words and to structures in a meaningful way. And as you listen and you understand the story, you're being entertained, but you're also seeing how you can use these new words, how you can use these new structures. And then the best thing to do is to apply it. You know, you write a movie review, choose another movie review, and think about how you can use words like despite or be successful in doing something. Dream. Dreams could be goals, targets, aims, challenge. Yes, we do like the word dream things. Okay, another thing I'd like to share with you from the review is the use of reduced clauses. Clauses have subjects and verbs, but there are ways to reduce these clauses and turn them into phrases. We often do this to be more concise. Instead of having really long structures and really long sentences, we can reduce our clauses. We lose words that are not necessary, and our sentences become shorter and to the point. They become more concise. This is an example here. I wrote that his young apprentice, meaning the person he was teaching, the person who was working under him, his young apprentice Philip, played by Zac Efron, also reevaluates his priorities, deciding to put self-determination above family status. Okay? What's happening here? The main sentence is, his young apprentice also reevaluates his priorities. That's it. His young apprentice also reevaluates his priorities. But now we get more information about Philip. What we're really saying is his young apprentice Philip, who is played by Zac Efron. We have a reduced adjective clause, a reduced relative clause. Also reevaluates his priorities. This too is reduced. Perhaps my active members there, Manuel, Stunning Lad, you guys can jump in. What happened here? There was a fuller idea and I reduced it. Deciding to put self-determination. What was the full clause? There might be more than one possibility. Okay. His young apprentice, Philip, who is played by Zac Efron, also reevaluates his priorities. You could say, and he decides to put that. So it could be an and. It could also be a time relationship. Like when he reevaluates, he makes this decision. It's part of the process. When he decides, becomes deciding. So it depends how you see it. It could also be because he decides. So we can reduce it if the logic is clear. If the logic is clear, you can take out the adverb, whether it be because or when. Sometimes it's another time word like after. But let's say it's when. Instead of saying when he decides, I could change that by taking out the adverb of time, the subject, and then I change the verb to an ing. And we simply have deciding. So again, I'll read it with the full clauses. His young apprentice Philip, who is played by Zac Efron, also reevaluates his priorities when he decides to put self-determination above family status. With reduced clauses, it becomes shorter. His young apprentice, played by Zac Efron, also reevaluates his priorities, deciding to put self-determination above family status. Possibly. I don't know if, I think this one is definitely about who, like who is Philip. I don't think the deciding is about who he is. It's more about what he did and why he did it, how he did it. So I see this one more as a reduced adverb clause. This is a reduced adjective clause. Manuel, you sound like an expert on trapeze artists, about trapeze artists. Okay, look at this sentence. The beautiful Ann Wheeler, who is played by Zendaya, catches Philip's heart while she performs on the trapeze. Just like we reduced up here, we can reduce here. Here, you saw that we took out the subject pronoun and the verb to be, and we're left with the past participle. We could do the same thing again here. And that becomes a reduced clause, a reduced adjective clause. The beautiful Ann Wheeler, played by Zendaya, catches Philip's heart while she performs on the trapeze. Again, up here we took out the adverb. We could say it's a, this is our, what do we have this? Dependent clause, right? So this is our conjunction. When. We have one here too, subordinating conjunction. We took out he, so we can take out she. Instead of performs, it is an action. We use the present participle and it becomes, and I take it back as I think about it. I think while works really nicely. I'm going to keep while and just take out the subject and change the verb into the present participle. So while, after, before, those time words we often keep. At while performing, after performing, before performing. But when we could take out. The beautiful Ann Wheeler, played by Zendaya, catches Philip's heart while performing on the trapeze. And we understand that if she's the one who catches, she's the one who's performing. Okay, so it's all about Ann Wheeler. Yes, when he decides. Exactly. And you could just say Zendaya, but I think it's nice to clarify that this is a character played by the actor Zendaya. Okay. The beautiful Ann Wheeler, played by Zendaya, catches Philip's heart while performing on the trapeze. Okay. Look how much you can get out of a movie review. We looked at grammar, we looked at collocations, we looked at the word despite, and that's just three points. But there's also vocabulary that we looked at. Credible as the opposite of incredible, right? We also talked about self-determination, using the prefix self, determining for yourself. We looked at the word outcast, people who are not included in society. We looked also at this collocation, take liberty in doing something, and the expression all the rage, being oh so popular. So if you really work with a movie review, you can gain vocabulary, exposure to grammar. You're also improving your listening because you have access to the audio and you have the text. You can listen as many times as you need to until everything is understood. And then you can listen without looking at the transcript and understand all the words. Okay? Yes, you could also use parentheses to put actors' names in parentheses to explain who is who. Okay? Lots of things to get. If you have language questions, I'm still checking out the comments. It should be accessible to everybody, by the way. I turned off the member-only mode, so refresh your screen and you should have access. Right now I just see Stunning Lad 1 and Manuel going to town here. Being super active, but you should be able to join them. The member-only mode is off. I'm just going to double check that again on this end. Yep, I'm just going to refresh it on my end to make sure. Yep, that's what it says, guys. It should be subscribers. Okay? All right. Okay, very good. Questions that came in from members, and I'm going to tie it into our movie review today. There's a question about how we use proved with the ed form. Carrying lots of change proved to be useful that day. Why not this? Carrying lots of change proved useful that day. So this person is asking about the difference between proved to be useful and proved useful. Okay, do you see that? There isn't a difference in meaning. That's the answer. Why not? Because it's a choice, your choice. Proved can be used with the adjective or can be used with the infinitive, to be plus the adjective. So proved helpful, proved to be helpful. Proved successful, proved to be successful. You can write it either way. Sometimes there are choices and it doesn't make a difference. No meaning is changed in making one choice versus another. So let me go to this one, for example. Young Philip rejected his privileged life with his wealthy parents in order to experience more freedom and pursue happiness in the circus. This was a good decision. We could say this proved. Here, I have a noun phrase. What sounds more natural to you? I think when we're dealing with adjectives, it really doesn't matter. Proved plus adjective, proved to be plus adjective. My preference with a noun phrase is to use the infinitive. Proved to be a good decision. That would be my choice. Okay. So I didn't find confirmation of this somewhere, but this definitely was recognized in a dictionary, that with the adjectives, you can use to be or drop it. But my preference with a noun phrase is to use the infinitive. You guys are into Willy Wonka. Hey, Alyssa's back. I don't know, Elisa. I have to check out that movie, Outcast. Who's in that? I don't know that movie. Yeah, Julie, I definitely want to see Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka is on my watch list. At first, I didn't want to see it because I'm thinking, oh, I love the original one, Gene Wilder, you can't replace him. But then I understood that they're doing a sort of prequel, like what happened before. How did Willy Wonka become Willy Wonka? And oh boy, when I started to hear the songs and the music, and I also like Hugh Grant. I appreciate movies when he actually sings. So I do want to see the new Willy Wonka. I think it'll prove to be very entertaining. Make sure that you do have the D there, right, Manuel? Right? Proved useful, proved to be useful. Okay. This is similar to considered. Look at these sentences that I have for you. Okay. Move this up. Jenny Lind was considered to be the best female singer of her time. We could say she was considered to be, or simply considered the best female singer of her time. Here, what we're seeing is was considered. This is passive. I'm wondering if we would consider, I consider you a friend, I consider that helpful. There is an argument that consider can be like a linking verb, if you think about it. Because linking verbs, we have our subject, linking verb, and then we have the subject complement. Like, it is entertaining. It's considered entertaining. It is similar into... I don't know if I want to go firmly in that direction, but I do think some recognize considered as a linking verb. But I just see the pattern here, proved ed, considered ed. You can use to be, the infinitive, or you can drop it. Jenny Lind was considered the best female singer of her time. She was considered to be the best female singer of her time. In the movie, Barnum's wife considered Jenny Lind a threat. She considered her to be a threat. Right? She considered her to be a threat. Here, consider someone something. I see that, by the way, as subject, verb. Here we have subject, so this is the subject, this is the verb, and then we have two objects. That's what I understand. Okay. Barnum's wife considered Jenny Lind a threat. She considered Jenny Lind to be a threat. Hey, Fabio, I see you there. Okay. The stars of Barnum's circus were not considered normal, were not considered to be normal. So again, with considered, look, we have a long noun phrase, short noun phrase, adjective. Just as up here, we have adjective, adjective, and here we have a noun phrase. Proved and considered then are similar in that sometimes we do use to be and sometimes we drop it, and there is no change in meaning. Okay? These are my examples. You're free to create your own about Willy Wonka, Napoleon, or any other figure, any other character. The judge told the prosecutor, it proved to be a good decision. Yes. So in a court scene, the judge's decision proved to be a wise one, or proved to be wise, proved to be fair, proved to be what? Unfair in some cases. All right, so we answered the question about proved. Can we drop to be? Yes, you can. Okay. Sometimes it's a preference. Here, I wouldn't. This proved a good, I would say proved to be a good decision. I'm more willing to drop to be with considered. I don't know if that's my preference or if there's another reason beyond preference, but in any case. Okay, the other question came in about prepositions, in versus into. I have 5 sentences for you to feel the difference. Both in and into have a similar meaning. But in these sentences, I would probably choose one and not the other. Why? I'll do the first one with you. When you walk the circus tent, you entered, enter, we'll do this all in the present tense. When you walk in or into the circus tent, you enter the world of imagination. Or you could do past tense. If we're talking about anyone who came to P.T. Barnum's circus. Sometimes they overlap, and sometimes it doesn't make a difference. But there's a little subtlety, a little feeling, a small difference between the two. Manuel, I agree with you. I would use into here. Think about number 2. Who can keep up with Manuel there? He's going fast. Yes, Elisa, come back. Please come back and watch the recording. Lots of little gems here. I'm showing you how movies open up the possibilities for vocabulary, listening, grammar, discussion. That's the fun part. It's if you can find a study buddy and talk about the movies, or join me on Patreon, because sometimes we have discussions about movies. We had one month where that was the topic, movie reviews. Okay. In poverty. Good, good, good. I agree with you guys. In poverty. Stunning Lad 2 also agrees. I'm going to go with Stunning Lad 1 here. And maybe what I can do, maybe I can go like this. Now you're thinking, Manuel. Okay. Yes. I agree with you guys. Okay. Why? So orange means I'm not going to consider it a mistake if you choose the other. When you walked in the circus tent, when you walked into the circus tent, you entered the world of imagination. Look at this one down here too. When Jenny Lynn steps into the spotlight or steps in the spotlight to perform Never Enough, the theater becomes silent in expectation. What does 1 and 4 have in common? Look before. Walk, step. So into and in both mean inside of something, right? But especially when you have movement, into makes sense. So you can walk into a building, you walk into the circus tent, step into the spotlight, right? Step into a bad situation, fall into a bad situation. You find yourself in a bad situation, right? Because if you find yourself in it, there isn't movement. You're just there. That's your state. So when it's more about state and location, it's more in. When it's movement, then it's more into. So that's one guideline I can give you. Walk into the tent, step into the spotlight. Okay? Here, again, you can fall into poverty, but he lived in poverty, right? That was a state, a condition. So he was poor for a time as a young man, as a child. He lived in poverty, and then he got out. Okay? He lived in poverty, but he used ambition and creativity to rise to great wealth. Barnum and his junior partner Philip understood the darker side of living in high society. When you live, that's a state of being, that's a position, location, state. It's more about in. So in poverty, in high society, where are you located? What is your position? What is your status? In high society. This one we talked about. Even if you're not into musicals, this is an idiomatic meaning, right? If you're into something, you like it. Are you into action movies? Are you into fitness? Are you into rock climbing? What is it that you spend time doing? What are your interests? If you like it and you take interest in it, you are into it. That's one exception. Although that is sort of a passive state, we use into with expression. So be into something. Even if you're not into musicals, meaning even if you do not like them, you might still appreciate the storytelling in The Greatest Showman. Okay? So the short answer is that movement pushes us to choose into. That's preferred. When it's a state or location, it's preferred to use in. Actually, really should, like in poverty, in high society. This is idiomatic, so you just need to learn, be into something. I'm really into musicals, or I'm not into rock climbing. Into. Similarly, is the question about on versus onto, and this is our last question. Look at the two examples and see if you can choose. The story of P.T. Barnum is set, New York City and the surrounding area. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's not a good one. Oh, no, sorry. This one should be in. I wasn't thinking last night. They're on. Okay, how about this? 6A. We're going to put this one up here. Doot, doot, doot. Isn't it nice? We can edit right as we go along. This is 7, and I'm going to put 8 here. Mm-hmm. There we go. I changed the numbers around. This one should be set in. Again, location. It's all about location. Where does the story take place? It's set in New York City and the surrounding area. Both ways. Manuel, I think you could say she steps in the spotlight, steps into. I'd prefer into because of the stepping, but I don't think it's wrong if she steps in the spotlight. But again, when you stand in the spotlight, when you are in the spotlight, so for the state, position, location, we definitely use in, not into, right? She was often in the spotlight. She found herself in the spotlight, but she stepped into the spotlight literally when she walked on stage and she stepped into the spotlight. I would prefer into there. Okay, stunning lad. Yeah, just add a D, Manuel. based on. This is based on because it's about state, the state of the story, based on. But here we go, movement, right? I would say onto. Again, it's about surface. As an actor and actress, there's a set, and when you step onto it, you put your foot on it, and now stepping onto it means you become a part of it, right? On set. So there is the expression on set. Maybe an actor or an actress has a phone call from a family member back home, and they're texting saying, "Can't talk right now, I'm on set." So their location is on, they're working on the film, they're on set, but that's location. But in this case, I'm emphasizing the transition from reality to the make-believe. When Hugh Jackman and Michelle Williams stepped onto the set and into character, they became a happy young couple destined to be together. So notice I used onto and I used into, by the way, here, all because of this verb, stepped. They stepped onto the set and into character. And then we believed that they really were this happy young couple. These two actors convinced us that they belonged in their roles, and their roles were very believable, how they performed. Okay? He went on. That's a phrasal verb. Go on is a phrasal verb meaning continue. He went on to be something. Okay? All right, just reviewing to back up, the questions were tied into our movie review of The Greatest Showman from 2017, and we learned that on and onto is about surface, but again, we give preference to onto when there's some sort of movement, like step onto something, climb onto something. A child can climb onto his father's back, and the father gives him a piggyback ride, for example. Similarly, in and into means movement inside, or it means inside, but if it's location, position, status, we use in. If there's some sort of movement involved, we prefer into. Walk into, step into, for example. There is the idiomatic expression to be into something. It simply means you like it. You take interest in it. We also looked at proved and considered, and we noted how the infinitive to be can be omitted. It can be dropped, right? Proved to be useful, proved useful. Considered the best, considered to be the best. We also looked at reducing clauses. Adjective clauses can often be reduced. We do that by dropping the subject pronoun, the form of be, and then we're left with a past or present participle, right? This is an adjective or adverb clause, right? And we also were left with a participle, in this case present. Present participles end with ing, past participles end with ed, or they may be irregular. Okay. We also looked at the collocation, be successful in doing something. Be successful in what? Be successful in doing what? And finally, we looked at despite as an alternative to but. Right? And we were able to do that by using a gerund here, despite what, despite doing or being what. And we can do that if the subject is the same in both clauses. This actually is reduced, all right? Despite the fact that the movie was all the rage. So this is about the movie, and this is about the movie. If the subjects match, we can use this, just like here. Barnum, Barnum, the subjects match. So we could use despite. We used an ing, okay? And I'm reminding you again, you have access to this new movie review. Of course, it's been broken up. Maybe what I'll do for you right now in the final minute is let me do a final reading so you can always jump to the end of this live stream and listen straight through, okay? So you can skip everything and just listen straight through to my reading of The Greatest Showman. What you can do with any audio recording, once you have the script too, is use it for pronunciation practice, guys. You can use it to listen and repeat. Let my model guide you, okay? So the final thing I'll do is I'll read this straight through, no interruptions, and we'll end there, okay? Thank you so much, Stunning Lad, by the way, for your very generous super chat. All right, guys, The Greatest Showman 2017. Sometimes we hear about a great film, but despite being all the rage, it doesn't end up at the top of our watch list. When we finally see the movie, we may wonder, why did I wait so long? How indeed did we deny ourselves the joy? That is what I felt when I recently watched The Greatest Showman, a musical inspired by the life of P.T. Barnum, the famous American entertainer and creator of the Barnum and Bailey Circus. The writers took some liberty in telling the story of the showman and his stars, so not everything may be historically accurate, but they were highly successful in creating a powerful message about dreams, determination, and acceptance. In the lead role, Hugh Jackman demonstrates what it means to be a triple threat in show business. He truly does it all: act, sing, and dance. Not everyone in Hollywood can claim to be as talented. As P.T. Barnum, Jackman is supported by a strong cast, including the handsome Zac Efron and the mesmerizing Zendaya. The beautiful plot lines illustrate that we're limited only by our imaginations and beliefs. What's really holding you back from love, success, and happiness? People who were normally outcasts because they didn't appear to be normal found a new identity and a family with P.T. Barnum's circus, proving that sometimes you have to search outside of the familiar in order to find your real home. In the case of Barnum, he discovers that a sense of belonging starts with self-acceptance, and he learns to evaluate the true worth of money, luxuries, and social status. His young apprentice Philip, played by Zac Efron, also reevaluates his priorities, deciding to put self-determination above his family's wealth and position. My favorite song, Never Enough, is sung by the character Jenny Lind, a real figure in operatic history. The actress did a credible job, but the singer who lent her voice to the film blew me away with her vocals. If you only watch one scene from this movie, make sure it's Jenny Lind's first stage performance. This is why we turn to art and entertainment. They touch our heart and feed our soul. I do like Scent of a Woman, Manuel. I do very much. Okay. All right, to remind you, way back here, there are 2 gifts that I'm giving to you guys. Anybody can have them with a few simple clicks. The free pronunciation toolkit is there. Whoops, there. How did that go there? That should be, did you? And then the movie reviews. It's my movie power pack of 10 movie reviews. These are the links. And again, the links are right here. Right? So if you come to my channel, click here, scroll down, you'll see the movie power pack and the free pronunciation toolkit. Okay? This is what you have to do to get the toolkit. You just click and give your name and address. Here, you'll get quick access to the whole pack. I please ask you to check your email, though, and give me a confirmation so that we can stay in touch with each other. Okay? All right, guys, we're going to be ending, and I'm going to put that link one more time here. Okay, so that is the new one. They went on to star in many good movies. Yes, that's correct. They went on, he went on, she went on. All right. Super. Thank you for staying this whole time. Some of you stayed the whole long time, and I appreciate that, taking time out of your day to study with me. I hope you see the potential of movie reviews, and I hope you take the time to do a few clicks and get your free movie power pack. That's 10 reviews, audio, and there's the PDF so you can follow along. I put together vocabulary notes to help you out. There's also a how-to video guide to give you some tips on how to get the most out of those materials. They're all free. You just have to do some clicking. And I ask you please to follow up by checking your email folder. Check your spam folder too. You click to confirm, and that will make sure that we can stay in touch and I can give further offers to you in the future. Okay? Thank you all. I wish you a wonderful January and an amazing new year. Thank you all for taking the time to be with me today. Thank you.